Sim racing is all about precision, but do you really know where you're losing time? Your braking, throttle control, and racing line. Every detail matters, but without the right data, you're just guessing. This is where Race Data gives you the edge. Instantly analyze your lap data, see exactly where you're losing time, and make real improvements. Know your weaknesses, fix them, get faster. Stop guessing, start improving. Try Race Data today.
The start of a new championship season brings with it new storylines. For champions, the opportunity to defend their crown. For the rest, an opportunity to dethrone a king. Welcome along to the Radical Sim Racing's America's Championship on iRacing as we get set for the first of our championship rounds here at Suzuka. Arjuna Kankipati in the broadcast booth and ready to go for our 45-minute race. Qualifying underway right now. What an important qualifying it will be here at Suzuka. Technical opening couple of sectors, of course, before you sweep your way towards 130R. High-speed final sector. All leads us into the meat of the championship season. A trip back stateside to Virginia, Laguna Seca, and then north of the border to Montreal. That leads us to the end of May before we hit the halfway point of the season on the streets of Adelaide. A trip literally halfway across the world before we complete the journey and return stateside to Sebring. We're at Atlanta Mosport, and then a European jaunt to complete our build up to our championship finale. We'll head to sunny Spain before the Charlotte Roval. An interesting track, various updates over the years as well to that layout. An interesting combination for these drivers, all as they fight for the prize pool in our two championship classes. Aiden Young, the defending Pro Champion, Jose Gonzalez, the defending AM Champion, and plenty of prizes, not just for the drivers and team champions, but for second all the way down through 14th, because the Radical Sim Racing holds a finals event combining Europe and America's drivers, and so 8th through 14th, they will qualify for the qualifier event. Those above them directly through to the World Finals at the end of this year. And so heading into those final couple of rounds, Road Atlanta Mosport maybe in particular, expecting drivers to be increasingly aggressive in maintaining track position and maybe more importantly championship position as well. Sweep through the opening sectors through 3, 4, 5. Robert Neville in the 87, he's one of the AM drivers in the class. And look at that spectacular double perspective. Good look at the focus on the face, but also over the shoulder. And steady over the bumps as he sweeps up towards the first of the Degnas. Quick kiss of the inside curve. And then rotate the car through the second of the Degnas and cross under the track. One of the few tracks in the world where you actually have that almost figure eight sort of layout. And only one of two grade 1 tracks, aka those permitted to host Formula 1 as this track did this past weekend. Although now the only grade 1 track with the figure eight, now that Fiorano no longer grade 1. Aiden Young, defending champion. Let's ride with him up to 130R. Let's listen in to the bravery. throttle there, did our defending champion. Did say he wasn't feeling great in the Discord in the build-up to this, so as the World Sim Racing machine drops out of the final corner, Ryan Otto provisional pole with a 1:53.898, the first of 4 lap times that they will get. For Aiden Young, it's about a 1/10.5 off. Slots into second provisionally. Big swing through the times. Defending AM champion, by the way, Jose Gonzalez making the step up to pro. He drops out of the final corner himself. And yes, it is a drop. 54.6 for him. Should slot him into 4th. Yes, indeed. I said 4 timed attempts. That's important because all of these drivers are effectively now just working within the constraints of the tire, effectively. How aggressive do you want to go? Of course, you're burning off your fuel as well, but whereas in some series and some cars you may reset to pit lane, everyone out there still on a second flying lap as Tino Rene heads out of the final corner. Oh, a little wiggle as he uses a bit too much of the curb on the right side. Jarek Dunkovic is 5th now on the board with all but 3 drivers represented on times. And Tino Rene, Jeremy Minella and Robert Neville, 1 pro and 2 AM machines, all invalidating their first attempt track limits. Not a usual point of contention here at Suzuka, but clearly for those 3 just pushing a bit too hard. Zuccarelli looking to try and find 0.6 of a second as he exits out of the Casio triangle. That's how you use the curb without inducing a bit too much rotation. It was a 54.329 for Zuccarelli, although picked by James Franznik. Best AM machine on the board. Roman Foes jumped to 5th. Now back on board with Gonzalez. So much commitment out through 130R. It is remarkable. Be careful on these curbs as well. Too tentative there maybe for Gonzalez. Maybe now setting up the next lap by. Validates his previous attempt, so that's 2 attempts burned. Although with just 3 minutes left on the clock, I don't think that these drivers will get the opportunity to finish all 4. It's going to be very close if they will get the chance. Gonzalez a bit too far back on the lap, but maybe some others further around. Robert Neville, he's on the board. So is Jeremy Minella, now 6th. A little lift to the throttle. Up through turn 7. Through Dunlop curve for Gonzalez. It's just Tino Rene who is yet to set a time, and I think he is not on a valid attempt right now. He is just gearing up for what will be his final attempt. Just under 2 minutes for our lap times. And when the clock strikes 0, that will be it for qualifying. So much radical competition on iRacing as well. It's great to see. I have seen these cars in person, both on IndyCar weekends, but also with the Prodigy Racing League. I was told I was too tall, unfortunately, to jump into the Radical SR1s. That's my excuse. Why I'm not a Prodigy. Here comes Aiden Young. Back down, look at him, shortcut. He thinks this might be the lap. 53.4 to beat. Oh, he's cut a 10th, but he's still searching for a 10th. Ryan Otto, who finished last year in the championship around, never trust the commentator's math, but around 45 points back. Might strike first. Jesse Lambert. He's on top now in the AM class. That was, as I was saying, so much of the Radical Sim Racing competition. And in this particular Radical as well, the SR10. I remember when I started in iRacing, the older Radical, maybe not so fun to drive, but this is not just fun behind the wheel, but great racing for those watching as well. So, looking forward to our single 45-minute race that will see 2 mandatory pit stops. spice up the action just a bit more. Here comes Jarek Dunkovic, looking to try and jump in front of, well, a whole handful of not just pro machines, but the AM as well. In front of Lambert, in front of Franznik, third on the board. Zuccarelli might be one of the final drivers to stamp a time onto the board. He'll cross with about 10 seconds left to go. Let's listen here through 130R again. Few stabs at the throttle, but he made it work. Nicely done. Switches the car back quite well. Although not shortcutting to the line so aggressively like we saw from Aiden Young. It's a 54.2. It is an improvement, although just in track position. Here comes Aiden Young again. On his final attempt, he is 600ths off the previous best. And it means that opening up the season, Ryan Otto strikes first and will grab pole position in pro in the Team ERC machine. He will be looking to try and take the fight to defending champion Aiden Young in the World Sim Racing Esports White and Red, while Jarek Dunkovic in the grey and blue Den Competition Group number 9 will line up alongside of Jesse Lambert, the privateer, who's the best of the AMs. Diego Zuccarelli in 5th has got James Franznik alongside for company. Mark Romanfo and Jose Gonzalez, the defending AM champion, stepping up to pro. Shero 4. Jeremy Manella and Maxime Armand are 9th and 10th positions respectively, while continuing to slot our way through the field, Cedric Oyanon and John Benelud are AM machines slotted just about halfway through, with Gabriel Unangst and JF Larocque, Joel Jacklin, Robert Neville, Kiri Mel Lucina, and Tina Rene, your 18 Radical SR10s, getting ready to run. Probably looking at around 23 laps. Depends on how long these drivers will be down on pit lane for. Remember, 2 mandatory pit stops, as I mentioned, in the fixed setup competition. It's all about the drivers adapting their style to what they're given. Yes, there's an element of racing where make the car better, but you best believe the best rise to the top when given the equal machinery. Slight differences, yes, in driving style may arise, but ultimately, racing drivers love a good excuse, and that's the best of them. Start of a new championship year, plenty of drivers stepping up from AM to pro, including Jarek Dunkovic, second in last year's AM class. But here we go. For the first time this year, our drivers focused up to the lights. 45 minutes on the clock, and the Radical Sim Racing Americas Championship for 2026 has go. Oh, the Mario Kart's not got the mushroom. Instead, it's gone nowhere at the back of the field as it slips over the banana peel down into turn 1. Leading them, Ryan Otto in that bright yellow machine. Got Aiden Young already chomping at the bit to try and sweep through as we climb up into the S's for the first time. Jesse Lambert holds on to his AM lead as well as we jump on board with 3rd place in AM. Maxime Armand tucked in behind the Canadian Roman Foe. Now up the hill. Expecting plenty of sweat for Maxime, clearly. Headband ready to go. First lap always dangerous through the Degners as it can concertina up. Through the second one, a bit of a gap as Roman Foe made the mistake, and oh, there he goes. It's caused some chain reaction. I think Jeremy Manella's the one that's been mixed up in the Passion Sim Esports 88, the black and green. But now up through the hairpin, affectionately known as Kobayashi Corner. Already 8/10 the separation between 2nd and 3rd position. Could be a fight between these two, and then the rest of the pro drivers settling into the season behind. Got to be careful out through Spoon as well. So easy to dip your wheels too far over the curb and drop the rear end around. But up to 130 yard, the draft plays its part. to championship contenders in 2025. Back at it in 2026 as we're almost 3 wide into the braking zone of the Casio Triangle. Romain Faux in the middle of it. He's already made his way past Jose Gonzalez, although has lost out to Maxime Armand on the run up through 130R. On board with the Lima Racing number 8. Great view in front as Romain Faux now feels the pressure. Jose Gonzalez up the inside, forces Romain onto the outside curb. Bit of a wiggle from the rear end. Settles back into line. Great look from up above as we snake through the S's. Now we need Jeremy Manella back on pit lane after the opening lap of the season, which is great to see. Not that he's on pit lane, obviously, but just one car involved. Tino Rene, who did not set a lap time in qualifying, he's already picked his way past one. Picking his way past another is Aiden Young. Ryan Otto, mistake through the Degners, and now trying to hold on to 4th position. Defends on Diego Zuccarelli, who in the black machine has to go wide, and well, that's exactly what Ryan Otto did. Straddled the curb between Degner 1 and 2. So easy to just bottom the car out, and I think that's exactly what he did. Let's take a look at the race start then. So the Mario Kart machine goes nowhere at the back, but then as we drop down to turn 1, in fact, that's not even related to the concertina. Jeremy Manella just drops it on the exit of Degner 2 as you come under the bridge. Right on board. Let's see if we learn more. Greedy on the loud pedal. Never really settled the rear end there. And so understandably, car back on pit lane. But a quick fast repair and back out. That's what the 2 pit stops in this race are intended to do, as our AMs squabble on the edge of the top 10 overall. But Ryan Otto peek up the inside. Jesse Lambert running as the best of the AMs, but on course for an overall podium right now. Watch the hands here, smooth in a downforce car. Slicks and wings is the way that Tom Drewer, one of the people at Radical North America, both on the business side, but also on the broadcast side, that's how he introduced it to me. Why the draft's a big part. Dirty air as well can be a thing, but maybe not to a big extent around a place like this. 1.2 seconds now, the gap at the front. Aiden Young trying to break away. Oh, big send from Zuccarelli. Just about winds it down in time, but a accordion back out. Behind Jose Gonzalez, Maxime Armand's dealing with the increasingly growing sight of Romain Faux in the rearview mirrors. Maxime also closing up to Jose. Got some separation in front of them, 1.5 or so seconds, and so not really a draft that Jose is going to enjoy as they sweep back towards 130R for the 3rd time of asking. Grass being kicked up by those in front as they try and maximize the corner. Different lines being taken as well. That was Maxime that was a little bit more aggressive in pulling off to the left side of the track, coming up towards the braking zone of the final complex. Ryan Otto's going to have a better look alongside of Jesse Lambert, recognizing that pro versus am. Oh goodness, Diego Zuccarelli goes straight, but because there's plenty of now tarmac out there, able to get away with it. Oh heavens. That replay is going to tell us a lot. Is he struggling maybe with brakes? Something that obviously in the real world would be a safety factor, but here it can just be a technical issue. Now I think that's just a lack of, or a miss of the marker. Lapse in awareness, that's what I was thinking of. Fortunately, doesn't lose too much time, but now James Franznik, the second place AM driver. 9th in last year's AM Championship, the Bad Wolf Racing 39. Gotta be a little careful putting the power down. JF Larocque's gonna fight for 12th position, just in front of Joel Jacklin. Although that might also just be internet related. Close AM fight here. 5th on pack. It's 11th on pack overall. Could this be an opportunity for one of these drivers to duck down to pit lane? Get themselves out of this queue. We do have a 40% fuel limit for the race. That's also going to help enforce that 2 pit stop requirement. Oh, JF Larocque's got to run, and the Jour de Course 23 swoops through. Joel Jacklin thought about trying to poke alongside of the bright blue. Gabriel able to just pinch and run the 125 out of room on the run up to turn 16, and now up to turn 1, ducking and diving. Larocque just opens up the entry into the corner, sweeps the speed through and holds on. 6 now for him. Aidan Young only 1.4 seconds clear of Jared Dunkovic, who's increasingly got the bright yellow of Ryan Otto to worry about. Team ERC cheering on the 15. We'll be praying that he avoids a second mistake at the Degners. Anyone who has jumped in the sim has made that mistake, let's be real. There's no ifs or maybes about that. Be careful through this part of the track. Even cutting too much of the inside can unsettle the car. Look how much they're moving around as they head in towards Spoon Curve, and Dunkovic is feeling the pressure, stepping up to pro. It's going well so far. But is Ryan Otto the kind of driver that you'd learn a lot from sitting behind? Jesse Lambert's there as well. That's the black, white, and red front-ended machine. But around the outside, Ryan Otto drives off the track and drives into second. Dunkovic has to now cover. Jesse Lambert with a hip and shoulder attempt. Find the door slam shut as they sweep down off the corner and back to the line at Suzuka. Some great racing going on here. Jesse Lambert once more squeezed to the inside wall. Contact between the two. Dunkovic holds on around the outside. He did not want to concede there in what is a battle between the two classes. Oh, so much commitment from Lambert in through turn 3. I think he thinks he's quicker than Dunkovic. I go back to the question. Trip down on pit lane may not be the worst call. Ferris wheel in the background. Great view of all the action here at Suzuka, that's for sure. Great view of the fact that Aidan Young now has that 2-second advantage that Ryan Otto is trying to chase down. What an interesting schedule we have this year. Of course, we started with a test round at Mugello, which always great that we have a test opportunity for these drivers, the first chance for them to go wheel to wheel with one another. But then, of course, synced up with the iRacing official schedule and the Radical Esports Cup. Coverage of that on RaceSpotTV and the iRacing channels as well. But Suzuka, that's our first round, of course. Then we have a gap until April 19th. In that case, we link back up with the Radical Esports Cup and head to VIR, the Virginia International Raceway. Great to hear the news, of course, that Connie Nyholm and the group there have bought back full ownership, and so expecting plenty more at America's home of motorsport. What's it called? America's Motorsport Resort, that's what it is. Plenty more development of what already is a gorgeous racing facility. James Franznik Not focused on VIR, focused on Suzuka. Slips up the inside of Diego Zuccarelli. And now only 1.7 or so seconds back from Lambert, leader in class. After VIR, Laguna Seca, then Montreal, Adelaide, Sebring, Road Atlanta. That's all confirmed. And then Mosport, Barcelona, and Charlotte Roval. Those may change depending on iRacing schedules as well. All building, of course, the Radical Sim Racing World Finals on November 22nd. Best of the best across of Europe and Americas will go at it hammer and tongs. Of course, the last World Finals qualifiers a few weeks before that. Finish in the top 14 in your championship. Well, 8th through 14th to be specific. You'll go into that World Finals qualifier. Everyone else above them, 7th on up, automatically qualified through. Joel Jacquelin's had a bit of an issue. He's lost some ground. So has Kiri Melusina, but outside of that, they've continued, and we continue to have a fairly clean race. Jose Gonzalez has got plenty of draft as he carries that speed in the Vima Racing Team 21. The chromish red, slightly forced on track by Diego Zuccarelli. Wonder if he's nursing some damage here on that left front. Looks a bit pushed in. Defends around the outside. Cuts back now underneath does Gonzalez as they head down underneath to the start-finish line. View on one side from the main grandstand, on the other side from pit lane and the VIP suites that they will have there. Still neck and neck. Gonzalez has to concede. Zuccarelli drives off the track. It's a common mistake. Not as far off as we saw from Dunkovic earlier on. But enough ground lost for Gonzalez to slip through. Almost 15 minutes complete. Again, 2 mandatory pit stops. When do we see drivers decide to switch things up? Passion Sim Esports Roman Foe based on the livery. Maybe switching things up for us on track as well. It's a big conga line in front of him as well. That's the real issue. Really, he's eyeing up Gonzalez and Zuccarelli, with some AM machines now increasingly getting mixed up. The gap between Franznik and Lambert grows, though, to 2.7 seconds. Jason Lambert doing a great job in this opening round of the championship. Still a long season, though. And often what differentiates the pro and the AM classes, both in the real and virtual worlds, is the consistency, as JF Laroque gets passed by Cedric Oyon. Roman Foe passes Maxime Armand. One before the final complex, one after the final complex. Not done here, though. Fight for 8th position. Maxime Armand gets back alongside of Roman Foe. Remember, they're running the same setup, so there's no difference in downforce levels. It's just maybe if you've got some damage, or if you get a terrible exit off the corner, and then the draft games get played. A little bit of side draft here and there on the main straight, of course. First pitter. Jeremy Manella, remember, pitted on the opening lap after the damage. Out comes Ohayon, excuse me. Clean air aplenty for him to enjoy. Get back up to speed. Now, the way that the race format was written out was pretty clear to me. You have to pit at the end of the penultimate lap. So I think that, to me, indicates you can pit on the penultimate lap. But by the time you then exit pit lane, you must have completed a service. You can't just travel through if you pick up what I'm putting down. Drivers always find a way to be clever. Romain Fo gets blocked off as they rise to 130R. He was hoping to slip underneath of Maxime Armand. Oh, but around the outside, that's bold. Take some confidence in these cars. Their speed reaching 260-ish kilometers an hour. Jesse Lambert heads to pit lane, followed in by James Franznik. So we got a fight between the AM pit crews. It means that Maxime Armand takes over the AM lead as he continues to fight with Romain Fo. He's left on the outside as we drop down to turn 1. He's left room on the outside by Romain. Squeezes though on exit and holds on through turn 2. So in total, looks like, what's that? 7, 8 on pit lane this time by. James Franznik was about 1.5 seconds shorter in the box. That means less fuel than Jesse Lambert. So that's him trying to close and gain some track position. He's not quite within drafting range just yet. There's a few other drivers going long on the pit stop, 14 seconds. So I wonder if that's them packing in a bit more fuel and they'll have a shorter stop when they return to the lane in about 14 minutes, you'd assume. Track temperature, if you are curious, is... well, I've got the wrong units on my screen, so 79 Fahrenheit, but if you use correct units, that's about 26 Celsius. Not bad at all. Take that any day of the week. Defensive from Romain into Casio Triangle. He's feeling the pressure. Ryan Otto follows Aiden Young in. I think we may have reached the point of no return on fuel. Here they come. The World SimRacing machine not far from Team ERC, bright yellow. Ryan Otto doing a great job to make amends for the mistake at Degna 1. 9 seconds for Aiden Young. Oh, Jared Dunkovic, 8.1 seconds, a full 2 seconds shorter than Ryan Otto. And so he's dropped in between of Young and his former contender for this race win. One more pit stop cycle to go. Jesse Lambert, through all of James Franznik's attempts, has been able to build a gap. Problem is Jose Gonzalez may end up being the bridge, the drafting gap. A little bit too large between the AM cars. With Gonzalez thrown into the mix, the defending AM champion stepping up to pro. Suddenly, Franznik has a sniff of a chance. Ryan Otto really cannot afford to hang around too much here. Assuming that the reason he was longer in the box was the other drivers were able to be a bit more conservative on fuel. Not lifting and coasting everywhere, but Ryan Otto definitely being one of the most aggressive drivers out on track. It's going to set it up, I think, out of Spoon Curve. Nice run from Aiden Young, season 1.3 seconds to the good. Ryan Otto only 1.5 seconds down, but the car in front, that is between him and the leader. Suddenly, some more clean air. Dunkovic didn't fight too hard initially. Back up the inside as we duck into the triangle. And he's going to force Otto almost off the road. Realizes better, gives him a wide berth, and will attack back down to turn 1. Close, but they got away with it. Lights flash. Is that the sign from Dunkovic that, okay, let's not fight, let's try and close up this buffer? So quick there for Ryan Otto to pounce on the opportunity. .4 now the advantage, though, for the race leader. 23 minutes left to go in this race, just ticked under that. One more pit cycle remaining for the entire field. Wonder if Jeremy Manella can extend this stint out another 7 laps or so, not even 7, 6 laps or so. In which case he would be guaranteed to make it to the end. Even from here, 3 more laps and he should be able to make it easy. No super clipping here. Dunkovic does not close on Ryan Otto as much as he wishes he could. Behind them, Jesse Lambert has got to deal with Jose Gonzalez, but crucially, Gonzalez has not brought Franz Nick with him. There is the AM leader. Love the white, red, and black on the front. A slightly chromer red for Jose Gonzalez. A little gold tinge on the engine cover as well. I've also had the chance, I should say, to talk to Raiden Nickel, who has many a lap record, I think, in his class of radicals after being last year's, Pro 15. They have so many classes of Radical Cup that sometimes it's hard in the real world to know. I think he was in the Pro 1500 class, fighting in a different machine to others, such as the joy of Radicals, with all the different cars in the lineup. Oh, Gonzalez sees a mistake from Lambert there, slips off the track momentarily through the gap between the two Degners. A little bit of a lift and coast then into the Kobayashi hairpin as he squares up the car a bit quicker and tries to get on power and drive forward. Ryan Otto has closed already 6/10 on your race leader. We'll keep an eye on that. Jesse Lambert feeling the heat. Small mistake out of Spoon Corner, out wide. And it's cost him plenty of momentum. He will force Jose Gonzalez the long way round. We've seen bravery through 130R. Lambert a little bit more aggressive in bullying Jose Gonzalez. Now setting something up into turn 1, maybe a bit earlier. Lambert gets checked up deep into the corner himself, and all of this allowing Franz Nick to close. Remember, it's track position up for grabs here as back to the outside goes Gonzalez. Maybe a bit of a statement, defending AM champion, making the step up, trying to move forward. And now those in his class, or were in his class, holding him up. Last lap it was only about 4/10 that Franz Nick gained. That's 4 crucial tenths. Out through the Degners they go. Meanwhile, pit stops for Jeremy Manella and Joel Jacklin should be good for them to get to the end, I would say. I'll be thrilled at that, especially in Manella's case. Meanwhile, jump on board in the fight for 12th overall. This is 6th and 7th in class. Meanwhile, bottom of your screen has Jose Gonzalez finally found his way around the brick wall. Oh, just about, but Jesse Lambert tries to touch up the left rear, squirrel down out through Spoon, and Gonzalez finally through. Both giving as good as they had. And now Lambert gets the chance to try and slingshot back up to 130R. But Gonzalez, a bit more momentum carried around the outside. That should be fourth, signed, sealed, and delivered. As much as Lambert tried once more in towards the final complex, what that really did was check him up a bunch. So how much closer is Franznik now on this lap? Gained 1.3 seconds on Jesse Lambert. Not enough yet for him to be within draft. Have to see what happens here in the pit stops. Franznik was a bit shorter in pit stop 1. Second pit stop window seemingly has opened for a handful of our drivers further down the running order. Promotes the likes of Robert Neville as Cedric Ohayon stationary for a lengthy time. I wonder if there's some damage repairs going on. 16.7. Abnormally long, I would argue. Or maybe tires. Oh, spin! That was James Franznik. Has he damaged the car? That's the question. No meatball flag, so iRacing's not going to tell him he must return to the pit lane. But what happened here? Car was already fairly straight. But then he puts the power down. Around goes the rear. And minimal opportunity to save it. Back up front, Ryan Otto within 1.7 seconds of the leader. He's chipping away, but at least for the time being, it's not enough. Needs a bit more. There is one driver, by the way, with a meatball. Sitting in pit lane for 50 seconds and counting. We'll see if they're able to head back out onto track. But James Franznik does indeed hit his marks. So into the pit lanes, formerly second in AM. Bit of a wiggle for Jarek Dunkovic as he watches Ryan Otto put the heat onto your race leader. Franznik stationary for 9.4 seconds. Yeah, that's what I would assume, more like that. Shouldn't need too much fuel to get you to the end. So Franznik ends up stationary for a total of 18.4 seconds. See the deltas between second and third. Likely to see a couple of laps, half a tenth here and there, in the green for Ryan Otto if you were to compare him to Aiden Young. Into the final 15 minutes now. Starting to become do or die time. To the 17th lap of the race, and we did see a split. Jarek Dunkovic is down on pit lane, allowing Ryan Otto to, well, focus fully forward now. See how he's able to use this. Jesse Lambert does not respond to James Franznik, but again, after the spin, Jesse Lambert's more now just thinking about getting to the end of this race. As Jose Gonzalez, also stationary. It's 8.9 seconds for him as then he jerks off of pit lane. Is he going to drop in front of Robin Neville behind JF Laroc? Neville also now down on pit lane. This 2 pit stop window does allow for some flexibility, but I'm surprised that we're not seeing more of it. There you see the green I was referring to, Ryan Otto on the previous lap, half a second in the good. That is a sign of maybe the defending champion, as I did mention, just being a little bit under the weather. Will either of them dive right down onto pit lane? Yes, there comes Young. Will Otto follow? No. Split between the leaders. Otto clearly thinks he's got the pace right now. And so it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. Meanwhile, for Aiden Young, we'll keep an eye out on where he drops relative to Jarrett Dunkovic. Dunkovic stationary for 10.2 seconds, so anything less than that and you think Young is good, it's 9.2. And so he drops well and truly clear. Ends up being a full 3 seconds in front of Dunkovic. Once that's all played through. .1 for JF Laroc, so remember you can go quite short here. I think Ryan Otto might be able to do an 8-second pit stop potentially. Have to wait and see here. Aiden Young top of your screen, Ryan Otto bottom of your screen. It's the 7th lap of the stint for Ryan Otto. Not sure he will go much longer than this. So it could be a trip to pit lane this time by. Remember, pit entry will be on the right side for the driver as they head off out of the final corner. And indeed, shortcutting the track. Here comes the race leader. One small mistake, yes, but what's going to happen on the blends? That's the question. Looking for about 8 seconds for Ryan Otto. Once he hits his marks and gets serviced by the crew. Here we go. 7.5. Will he have the advantage? Young up to speed. Sweeping through around the outside, but not close enough. And Ryan Otto, magic on pit lane. Doesn't now need to even worry about the tires getting up to temperature because the gap was big enough. Talking good 0.7 of a second there. Does Young have anything now left to respond with? Time is winding down in this race, just the 9 minutes left on the clock. Works out to maybe 4 laps or so. Bit of a kiss of the curb there momentarily. Thinking long game in the championship, you can't be too disappointed with a 2nd place finish. Although you know that all drivers always want more. Romain Faux is the driver in front of them, yet to come down onto pit lane. Don't expect him to be an issue, though. These drivers likely to see him exit stage right this time by. Head to pit lane for the final time today. Hayden Young has closed, no question there. Drop off. Back to the line. Romain Fo's going to stay out there for another lap, actually. Meanwhile, fight for the net lead of the race. Hayden Young waits to make his move. Someone get the Jaws music out. Plotting and waiting for the opportunity. Meanwhile, no waiting here. Splitting move before 130R. Lap between abs as Maxime Armand jumps up to what is second. Remember, with mistake from James Franznik, he's now dropped off the podium positions, unfortunately. Is there time for him to fight back? Maybe, actually, even with the limited time remaining. Here comes Young, closing up as we head back towards Spoon Curve. Not your typical passing opportunity. Still waiting. If anything, you probably wait till the last lap of the race. Look how strong the draft is. He's basically able to just plop himself in the draft. Sit there and wait. Romain Fo finally hits the box as Young decided it's time to make his move. Finally alongside. That was half-hearted at best. Romain Fo only 5.6 seconds stationary. That's very, very quick. Slots him a couple of seconds back from Diego Zuccarelli. Meanwhile, Cedric Ohayon defends from Jeremy Manella. Remember, he's already made his 2 stops, Jeremy Manella. Out of sequence with the majority of the field. Now trying to make his way past for an inter-class fight sweep around the outside, and boldly done. Oh, takes a bit of the air off the nose of the Yam machine, but they make it through safely. Here we go with take 2 of Hayden Young trying to make his way past on Ryan Otto. Get further back as we head out of Spoon. Is that part of the strategy, though? So you either have the choice of passing before 130R or waiting till afterwards. And I wager that last lap, you probably want to make your move before 130R. I'm not sure I'm necessarily comfortable with this idea of waiting any longer than that. And I could be wrong. I make it 3 laps to go, by the way, at the line. We'll get 24 laps out of this race. Slight moment wide there for Young in the chase, but doesn't lose him too much ground. That's important. Jesse Lambert looks pretty set at this point, you'd think, to hold on to the first ad win of the season, which will hold him in good stead It's a relatively long wait for the next round of the championship. Yes, these drivers will be racing officials, but specific championship rivalries put on the back burner, even after just one race. So maybe 3 attempts into the final complex left for Aiden Young, defending champion. How aggressive is he feeling now? Let's find out. In the slipstream, you can see the heat haze off the engine behind. Not yet. Not yet is the body language of the car. No white flag. 2 laps left to go. Aiden Young, can he get the slip shot this time around? Once more holds patient. Much more patient than many would have been in this situation. And not really allowing Jared Dunkovic to close up too much. And looking relatively steady right now. Here's a look at what happened between Jose Gonzalez and Jesse Lambert, who took the bike layout at the chicane. I'm sure you're necessarily meant to do that, but he's not gotten too close to the incident limit that these drivers do have to, I wouldn't say worry about at a track like this, but do that one too many times, you suddenly do find yourself worrying about that. Traffic in front potentially, but I would expect Akiri Melusina to step out of the way here as we get ready to see the final lap of this race. Ryan Otto, I think no question, has been the fastest driver on the day. Slipstream being strong enough, Aiden Young has got the choice of when to try and make his move. Up the inside. Oh, a bit of argy-bargy as they work through the Casio Triangle. That was the penultimate time. Final lap of the race starts now. Aiden Young a bit too far back in that light black and red WSR Esports Radical SR10. Jesse Lambert, by the way, has had a slip off the track. Will that end up costing him the AM win? Roman Foe slipped through. Maxime Armand might be next. Is it again the final corner? He has to shortcut there, and that's where you'll get a slowdown as well. I wonder if he's maybe not put enough fuel into that car or something. Meanwhile, Jeremy Minella having to fight for 12th position here. Holds on. 1 lap to go in that fight. Meanwhile, lights flash. It gets the traffic out of the way. No desperation send into the hairpin. Running out of time, running out of options. Young will want to wait. Will not want to feed the draft to Otto on the climb up. To 130R and then the run to the line. He times it well. Both get on the power nicely. Traffic holds to the inside. Will we be side by side through 130R? Bright yellow machine holds its ground. Ryan Otto left on the outside through the Casio Triangle. Just enough room given from both. Beautifully judged. And if this is a sign for what we're in for in the 2026 Radical Sim Racing Americas Championship, Ryan Otto, Aiden Young will have a championship long fight. Ryan Otto strikes first. here at Suzuka, while behind, wait, drama all the way to the very end. Jesse Lambert did need a trip down onto pit lane at the end, and so he'll drop off the timing order and instead promote Maxime Armand. Jour de course 5:20 to the AM win here in the opening round of the season. Jeremy Manella still covering from the darker, almost British racing green-esque Lima Racing 4-4. Will it be a blessed run off the corner? Oh, not quite. Momentum robbed. Oh, beautiful hands there. Match Rapato award there to hold on to the car and hold on to 12th position. 15th class for Ohion. But a wild ride, to say the least. Here's a quick look at provisional results, pending, of course, looks from race control. Ryan Otto, 2/10 clear at the end. What a fun race to the flag between the two. Jared Dunkovic slots into third behind with Jose Gonzalez, Diego Zuccarelli, and Roman Faux. The rest of the top 6 all pro drivers. Maxime Armand sneaks into the AM win in front of John Benolid, with James Franznik then third, JF Laroque 10th, fourth in AM, while through the rest of the field, Jeremy Manella, the last of the pro machines, Cedric Ohion, Jesse Lambert, Joel Jacklin, Robert Neville, Kiri Melusina, Tino Rene, and Gabriel Unaxt, the 18 machines that saw the start of this race, and all finishing relatively close. Now, only one lap down for a handful. It's what you want to see. Let's catch up with our pro winner, Ryan Otto. Ryan, one mistake in the early runnings, so you have to fight your way back through the field. Talk us through that mistake. Talk us through your mindset after that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never raced here before, so obviously there's going to be a few inconsistencies. So I came across the curb, wasn't expecting there to be a bump, hit a bump, and went off, and that cost me about probably 4 seconds overall, because I got stuck behind Jarrett twice and then stuck behind Jesse once, so that cost me a bunch of time, and then I was just running my way through. I knew I was faster than Aiden because he's quite sick right now. His airways were slightly closing up while we were racing. So I knew I had the pace advantage on him, and I just needed to put it to work.
Long season, but where do you think this puts you for the rest of the year that lies ahead?
I think it puts me in a pretty good stance. I think it's just going to be a battle between Aiden and us unless anyone else joins. So it's kind of nice to know our competition. But yeah, it's just going to be trying to get that consistency for first place every single race.
And you said Aiden was a bit sick, but you finished second in the championship last year. What do you need to step up to the championship win at the end of this year?
I need to not fall off in the mid-season. Last season, I fell off a little bit, and Aiden was able to overtake me. So as long as I put up a good fight to him every single race, I think I'll be good.
Well, congrats, Ryan. Looking forward to seeing you in the second round in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you.
First on the board for Ryan Otto, but a good fight with Aiden Young. But Aiden slightly under the weather, struggling through that race, I can assume. Aiden, how are you feeling?
I mean, considering I'm sick and I got second, I'll take it.
So, you don't sound best, so we'll keep this short. We'll let you go rest. It's an early start to your championship defense, but second even when you're sick, it must make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was a... Wait, voice crack there. No, it's good. We had a good little battle there with Ryan. We tried to keep it nice and clean. I locked up on the second to last lap into the final chicane. I didn't mean to do that. Like, I just sent it a little deep on the brakes. Felt the right front lock up, and I was like, well, if I don't go to the inside of him, I'm just going to hit him. He's going to go straight. He gets the slowdown, and that wouldn't look the greatest. So, I was like, this is going to go one of two ways. When I send it up the inside, we're both spinning, or I can just say, hey, my bad, that was a lockup. Sorry. And then I tried again on the last lap, but till I got the chance to actually try and go around him going into 130R, I was just sitting there fuel saving in that entire last lap because my caps kept telling me, oh, you're going to have 0.006 at the end of the race. And luckily, because I managed to fuel save behind Ryan, I finished the race with like 0.2 liters, so I sputtered right as I hit the line. But yeah, that 130 R around the outside pass, man, if I would have got that, that would have been pass of the century for me.
Especially with you being sick. Aiden, a great run with you being under the weather. Go rest up. We'll see you in a few weeks' time, hopefully bright and fresh at Virginia.
Thank you.
Making the effort to come talk to us, always appreciated. Quick chat with Jarek Dunkovic as well, rounds up the podium. Jarek, your strategy meant you had to fight with Ryan a little bit. Was there anything you could have done to try and hold him back to grab second on the road?
Honestly, I don't know if there really was. They were fuel saving pretty much in the beginning of the race, and I was just trying to run as fast as I could during the couple laps to try to outrun them, and that's why I threw it down the inside a couple of times on Ryan, because I knew that I had to break him and Aiden up in order to even have a shot at getting second. But otherwise, so it was a really good battle, and I mean, they were the fuel saving. I couldn't beat that. They were slowing down their pace enough, and I was about 0.6 off probably in the beginning of practice. So I knew that it was going to be kind of close, and didn't know if I really had anything else for them. But it was a good run with them.
I guess that's one of the differences between the AM and Pro class. You're making that step up this year. Are you overall happy with how the first race has gone? Podium, can't be too disappointed with that.
Oh, definitely not disappointed. I was just happy I even got into the top 5 originally. Yeah, this was making the leap up to the Pro is definitely not for the faint of hearted. These guys know how to race, and they race you very hard, but they're great to race against. They're smart and cunning, and you know it takes a bit of knowledge to know how to throw it back at them too. But you know, well, hey, it's the first race of the season. There's more to come, and we'll just keep climbing the ladder. But you know, definitely help. Thanks to the DCG boys, and actually Ryan gave me a couple of pointers during a coaching session this past week. So shout out to him for helping me. Not sure if he regrets that at this point, but still though, thanks to all the DCG guys and everyone else behind me. It was definitely a good weekend and a good, or at least a good run to the line, and really happy with a third place overall for the beginning.
That's what we love to hear. See you in a few weeks at VIR.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the broadcast.
And last but not least, let's catch up with our AM winner, Maxime Armand. Maxime, I'm guessing a bit of a surprising win, given that you saw the issues for the provisional leader on the final lap, but kept it clean, did your job, and came out with the best result possible. Must be pretty happy with the opening round.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't expect that at all. I just focused on my own race, and yeah, I was surprised to see the first in AM class. I think something happened in the last corner, and yeah, well, that was unfortunate for him, but lucky for me, it's my first win, first race of the season, so very happy with it.
2 pit stops. Did that make the race quite interesting, trying to decide when to pit, or was it pretty simple in the end?
First pit stop was pretty simple. Second pit stop, I saw that Jen Banulid was, I think he was 2-3 seconds behind me, and he had the drafting from another car, so I decided to pit as soon as possible because he would catch me at the end, so I think it was the right thing to do.
Well, congratulations on the win. See you in a few weeks at VIR.
Thank you very much.
And that's your reminder, April 19th, to catch us once again. America's Motorsports Resort hosts the second round of the Radical Sim Racing America's Championship. Plenty more to come on Friday nights in the Radical Esports Cup coverage that we have here on RaceSpotTV and the iRacing channels. Plenty more action to come this year. America's Championship, though, starters off with a nice little race here at Suzuka before we return stateside for the next couple of races. Congrats to our winners, to Ryan Otto, to Maxime Armand, as we open up the season. A long way to go, though, till we crown our World Finals champions. For Hugo Luis, Arjuna Kankipati, signing off.